Halloween. What is it?
Es el día del diablo, donde envían el mal al infierno.
Mom, what are you doing here? It's my video. Get out of here. Ugh. Where was I? Oh yeah, Halloween. What is it? It's the one day of the year kids dress up and go out to house and collect candy, and then for the next few days, develop cavities. I mean, it's mostly kids that go around, but I guess lately I've been seeing a lot of teens and even people in their 20s going for it. I do kinda get it though. If you're into cosplay, then dressing up as your favorite character would be nice, and if there's no convention around, Halloween would be the right place to go for it. But I definitely don't recommend dressing up with heavy materials on. I've done it before, and let me tell you, that was tough, especially with either hot weather or cold weather, depending on where you live. Now, growing up, we actually didn't celebrate Halloween. Why? Well, it was mostly because our mom. You see, our mom, who we love, forbid and destroyed anything that was related to Halloween that we brought to the house. You see, the thing is, my mom was Christian at the time, and so she was learned at a young age that everything that was related to the devil is evil and needs to be destroyed right then and there. Hey mom, I drew these pumpkins at school today. What do you think? Burn in hell! Now, I don't blame my mom for being a little bit exaggerated with the Halloween banding, only because she was also kind of influenced by our aunt. Now, our aunt, who we love, also was a Christian, but she heavily leaned on the option where we can't even look at Halloween decorations or else we'll be poisoned by the devil himself. But I don't see the issue here. I mean, just look, we have a kid dressing up as a monster, invading a guy's house, demanding sweets, and if not, they will be punished by a trick. Okay, I kinda see it, but I still think they were exaggerating. For another example, my aunt convinced my mom that the Pokemons were something that the devil made to get kids' attention. Really. Pokemons. Later I realized why. Kids in church would be playing with the Pokemon cards instead of hearing the lectures told by the priest. So that made parents take away the kids' Pokemon cards. Happened same thing with Hot Wheels, same thing happened with video game consoles like the DS or PSP, everything. But give them a break, they're kids. You really expect an 8-year-old kid to sit there for 3 hours to hear some dude talk about the Bible? Heck no. I don't even remember what I was doing when I was 8 years old. But I think that really did the opposite effect because I wanted Halloween even more. The only thing that me and my siblings got anything from Halloween was our school. Since in elementary school, every time there would be Halloween, they would make a huge party for it. We would get some pizza, candy bags, candy apples, and put on a spooky TV show. It was nice. I remember one time it was the 3rd grade and they put on Goosebumps. I even remember the episode that was on. It was the castle one where they were going in time. But yeah, even in my school, they allowed kids to wear costumes. It was actually pretty cool to see half my class celebrating Halloween. Some of them will go as fairies, vampires, Frankenstein, Mr. Clean. My parents wanted me to go in as a good influence. What about you? Yeah, my parents don't like this kind of stuff. They think it's the devil. So they destroy everything that relates to it. Oh. I'm glad I'm not that guy. What's funny is that I do remember going trick-or-treating for my first time. We were with my mom's friend, and then her kids came out to go trick-or-treating. They invited us over, and we were actually pretty excited. Our mom said no at first, but her friend convinced her. Now, we really didn't have any costumes to go on with, so we kind of went as ourselves. And to be honest, we only hit about 4 or 5 houses before we quit it, since it was getting too cold. But I gotta say, for those 4 or 5 pieces of candy, it was really nice. We living like kings here. When we finally moved to our own place in the 9th grade, we were actually given a choice to celebrate Halloween. I was actually pretty excited because one of our neighbors invited us to the church to celebrate Halloween. Wait, I thought we were the good guys. Shouldn't we not supposed to be celebrating Halloween? But anyways, that was actually pretty fun. There were a bunch of booths around during the event. There was bobbing for apples, an art station, Halloween games, heck, even a hay. I even found a random lightsaber that was totally left behind and definitely not something that I stole. You really think I didn't look around, ask people if it was their lightsaber, and even stole it right next to the house of God? Yes, I did. Feel ashamed. But it did look kinda cool. To be honest though, we still didn't have any costumes to wear for Halloween. The only reason why was because of money. My mom didn't have enough money just to spend on costumes that we would probably not wear the next year. I even remember in that year that I used that lightsaber that I totally found and used a dark jacket and went in as a dark Sith. It's not a lot, but you know, it's only what you can do. Anyways, later on, I will actually be able to use a costume for Halloween. That's only because I actually made the costume myself. And who did I choose to go as? That's right, as my favorite character at the time, mostly because of the popularity, was Freddy Fazbear himself. I crafted him with paper mache, poster board materials, glue, paint, spit, and a whole lot of duct tape. Not gonna lie, the first time I put on that Freddy head, I felt the Fazbear energy within me. Anyways, a lot of people really liked it. I remember going to the Halloween Churches event that year, which was a haunted house, and many of the volunteers liked my outfit. Some kids even thought I was part of the attraction. And not gonna lie, it was actually pretty fun. But you know what's not fun? Doing any type of movement when you're literally covered in hard poster board material. Seriously, I could not move my arms all the way around. I couldn't bend my knees, let alone sit or go even up the stairs. And don't get me even started with the head. Since it was made by paper mache and a lot of glue, there was no air ventilation when I made the head, so all that heat got trapped in. My vision was so tunneled because I put in eyes in the head, so I only had a pea-sized hole to see. It was hard to hear as well since the paper mache is a very thick layer. But one of the worst things about it, so doing that for 3 hours straight really does hurt. I even remember that over the course of that Halloween event, the suit was falling apart. Listen, I was only 15 when I made it. I barely even know how to handle a glue gun. So the suit was basically holding itself with Elmer's glue, duct tape, and hopes and dreams. But eventually, it became too hard to fix it. Much of the poster board was being ripped off, the clothes didn't start to fit me anymore, and I stopped trick-or-treating. I liked it, but I realized that the work was too much to be worth it. Plus, I still had much to learn. So after that, I only went trick-or-treating, only asked to watch over my siblings as they went. So what can you take away from this Halloween video? If your Christian mom tells you that something is from the devil himself, I'm pretty sure she's lying to you, especially if it's a game, TV show, or even a toy. Don't worry about any dangerous candy that you might get because there hasn't been anything reported on the news like that. Just scaremonger. Eat candy in moderation or else you're going to get a bad stomach ache and probably some cavities. I don't know, do what you can. We're all going to lose our teeth eventually. And if you're going to make a costume, please don't use poster boards as much as possible, especially if they're body parts. That's just going to be painful. But stay safe out there. Make sure not to go out too late or anywhere sketchy, and have fun out there. But let me know what other crazy Halloween stories that you guys have, and I'll read them below. Till next time, later Gators. Go ahead. It was fun to see half my class wearing costumes. It was fun to see my class. I was actually pretty excited because you really think I didn't go around, but I did look kind of cool though. I remember even in that year where I found that lightsaber, is that when I went use. I remember in that year I used that. I remember. Oh my. Later on in the years,